Hello. I'm so happy to be here and to take you through this session today. We have a slightly different setup. I've rearranged my office, so we have the window behind me and some artwork over to the side. So yeah, really happy to have this new vibe going on, and I'm really excited to share this session with you. I've got something in my eye, of course, right when I'm recording. Um, okay, so this session is inspired by work that I need to do for myself. So this is a ancestral healing session, but it does have flexibility for it to be past lives, past experiences, and releasing those layers. But the intention was born out of ancestral healing that I needed to do. And the healing specifically for me is around the trauma and the belief systems, and I guess just the entire sense of seeing the world that was passed down to me from my grandfather in particular. So I'm specifically thinking about him, and what his ancestral trauma as well carried through for his life, and then through my dad and through to me. So my grandfather was a secret First Nations person. So in Australia, that is an Aboriginal person, or Indigenous is also what we might call them. And yeah, and it was something that maybe was kind of joked about and hidden. And when I say joked about, it was like our grandfather's like, an Aboriginal, like some, maybe they'd even say more derogative terms, or like it would just be a little bit of a joke, kind of in joke for the family, but no one ever really acknowledged it as to be true, which is wild because once he passed, it kind of allowed the family to do their own digging and explore the potential of, the Indigenous background or ancestry. And what I think my family kind of knew already is that there was one particular individual, my grandfather's uncle, who was prominent in a way and was like had acknowledged his Aboriginal ancestry, his heritage, and their family grew up knowing that their grandfather was Aboriginal and accepted that. And in Australia, that is, obviously quite important because there's all this culture and all of this background that you can learn about. And for me, I didn't have any of that growing up. It wasn't until I was in my 30s, like early 30s, that this kind of came out. And and since then, I'm now 42. I have felt being drawn to that culture, but also not feeling, it's not that I'm not feeling welcome, it's like that I don't know my place in that group. So there's that flows around in the background, but specifically what I felt called to do this work on for myself, and this is just me telling my story, it's not what I'm expecting you to do the work around yourself, like this will be led by you. I'm going to walk you through this session for you to be led around what your subconscious needs you to release. But for me, there's shame, there's embarrassment, which is essentially the same as shame, but there's like fear about being found out. In Australia, in my grandfather's kind of like age group, children were still being taken from their families if they were half caste, if they were white passing and put into um, homes to be raised as white children, even though they had Aboriginal culture, even though their parents were more than capable of looking after them. And that is called the stolen generation. So that is something that my grandfather grew up experiencing, like in terms of knowing it was a thing. And I have no history or no knowledge of like how he felt about that, but I can imagine there would have been a lot of fear for family members about being identified as Aboriginal. And I'm getting tingles, which is a confirmation from my guides that I'm on the right path, that I'm making the right assessments or like judgments, or yeah, I'm on the right path. And yeah, like there would be so much fear. So keeping in mind that my grandfather's dad was identified as an Aboriginal child in the 1901 census in Australia. And so there is documentation that that family was Aboriginal. And so at some point they decided to denounce that. At some point they hid it. And I don't know whether that was my grandfather's doing or his father's doing. But at the same time, in parallel, another not grouping, but like in that family, there was like 10 children or something like that. And one of them was this uncle that I was talking about. Sorry, my dogs are going off. Okay. Resuming story time. So okay, I may need to pause this recording a few times, and I'll edit the this down, obviously, anyway, down the track. But resuming story time. So my grandfather's uncle, so my dad's great uncle, I think. I think that's how it rolls. He was sort of like a younger generation younger in that generation, more like similar age to my grandfather. But he and his family, in parallel to my grandfather's family, was identifying as Aboriginal. And my grandfather's family was not, for whatever reason. And I don't know the history without going into a trance and asking for some information. I don't have that information. But so that is what I was drawn to. Resolve is not the right word, but clear and address. And because of what I feel has flowed on, it's not so much that I have shame or fear around being identified as a Indigenous person, as a First Nations person, because I didn't grow up with that, and I find it difficult to identify as that because I don't feel like I am justified in doing that, which is a whole nother thing. But what I think has happened, what I know has happened, is that has transmuted into, as a woopreneur, as a spiritual entrepreneur, as someone in business online, I find it difficult to show up as my true self, to share things that might be different or not of the normal society. And my my ancestral kind of traumas could also flow back to witch wounds and all of that too. So there's a lot going on here that for me feels really powerful to do this work. So all that to say, we're going to be doing a session today, which is called The Hidden Flame, a soul journey from hiding to sacred visibility. This is, as I said, themed around my own journey that I need to take and how our ancestral traumas or belief systems have been passed down through epigenetics and through family beliefs and family behaviors and patterns and all of the things, how those have been transferred and repeated within family systems. So, without further ado, let's get into the session and let us record this moment together. And I would love to hear how this goes for you. And if you feel like safe to share, I would love to also hear about, the pattern that you were working on for yourself and how that has reflected as you move forward in your life after this session. Okay, so I'm going to be looking over, reading my script out. So I'm not looking at the camera anymore, that's why. Welcome to this journey into your Akashic Records. This is a multi-dimensional space where the story of your soul is held. A sacred place where past, present, future, lineage, memory, and possibility exist as one. Today, you are not here to fix yourself. You are not here because something is wrong. You are here to remember. To remember the parts of yourself that learned to hide. The parts that became smaller to stay safe. The parts that dimmed their light to belong. The parts that carried ancient strategies of protection for so long that they began to feel like identity. Today, we honor those parts and we gently discover what is ready to change. Take a moment now to settle, to soften, to arrive. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Again, breathing in safety and breathing out vigilance. One more time, breathing in possibility and breathing out resistance. Allow your eyes to gently close. Allow your shoulders to soften and your jaw to relax. The muscles around your eyes to release. Now imagine, picture, see or recognize a soft golden light flowing from above your head. A warm stream of gentle light pouring through the crown of your head. Flowing down through your face, your throat, your heart, your chest, your belly, your hips, your legs, all the way to the soles of your feet. With each breath, you become softer, more open, more supported, more willing to receive. You are safe. You are held. You are ready. Now, in your mind's eye, notice you are standing at the top of a spiral staircase. Ancient, beautiful, made of light. This staircase leads beyond ordinary awareness, beyond personality, beyond conditioning, and into the deeper wisdom of your soul. You begin to descend. 10, softening. 9, drifting deeper. 8, calm and curious. 7, trusting. 6, relaxed and open. 5, halfway there now. 4, going deeper. 3, open to receiving. 2, almost at the threshold. 1, fully open. At the bottom of a staircase stands a doorway. This doorway is to your Akashic records. Perhaps it appears as a temple, a forest gate, a library of light, a sacred archway. Trust whatever appears. When you're ready, open the door and step through. As you enter the records, you find yourself standing within a vast landscape. The air feels familiar. The earth beneath your feet feels ancient, alive, wise, safe. In the distance, a flame burns softly. You begin walking toward it. With every step, you feel yourself arriving deeper into your truth. As you approach the flame, you notice you are not alone. Around the fire stand many beings. Some may be ancestors. Some may be past selves. Some may be guides. Some may simply be aspects of your own soul. Each carries a gentle presence, a deep knowing, a profound love. One steps forward, and they smile, and in their hands is a beautiful cloak. woven from memory, woven from experience, woven from generations of wisdom. They gently place the cloak around your shoulders, and immediately you understand. This is the cloak of hiding, the cloak that helped people survive, the cloak that helped people belong, the cloak that protected people when visibility felt dangerous. You begin to feel its weight, not heavy, but familiar. You notice words woven into the fabric. Stay quiet. Stay hidden. Don't be too different. Don't draw attention. Don't reveal too much. Don't speak too boldly. Don't shine too brightly. Don't let people see the real you. Don't become too visible. And as you read these words, something beautiful begins to happen. You realize that these were never punishments. They were protection. The cloak was created with love. It helped someone survive. Perhaps many someones. Perhaps entire generations. Perhaps parts of yourself. And so you place your hands over your heart and say, thank you. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for helping me belong. Thank you for carrying me when safety required hiding. I honor your purpose. I honor your wisdom. I honor your love. The beings around the fire nod in agreement. Because nothing here is being rejected. Everything is being honored. The guide now asks, do you still need this cloak in its current form? Pause. Listen. Allow whatever arises. There is no right answer. Only truth. And if it feels right, you slowly remove the cloak from your shoulders, holding it gently in your hands. You look at it with gratitude, with reverence, with understanding. And then something extraordinary begins to happen. The cloak starts to glow. The old survival codes begin transforming. The threads rearrange themselves. The fabric becomes lighter, brighter, more alive. The guide explains, the protection remains, but the hiding is no longer required. And as you watch, the cloak transforms into something entirely new. Perhaps wings, perhaps a mantle, perhaps a robe of leadership, perhaps a crown of remembrance, and perhaps a banner of truth. Trust whatever appears. This new creation carries the wisdom of the past without requiring you to disappear. Now the guide invites you to walk towards a still pool of water. The surface reflects your soul. As you gaze into the water, you see the version of yourself who no longer hides. The version of you who speaks your truth, who shares your gifts, who trusts your intuition, who allows yourself to be seen. Not because everyone understands, but because your truth no longer depends on permission. Notice how they move. Notice how they breathe. Notice the certainty in their body, the peace in their eyes, the steadiness in their heart. Ask them, what do I need to know about visibility? Pause and receive. Now ask, what becomes possible when I stop hiding? Pause and receive. And then ask, what am I ready to reclaim? Pause and receive. Allow whatever comes. words, images, feelings, knowing. Trust it. And your future self now steps forward and places a hand upon your heart. A beautiful stream of light begins flowing between you. The courage to be seen, the safety of belonging, the freedom to express, the permission to exist exactly as you are, and the knowing that visibility and safety can now coexist. Breathe it in. Allow it to settle into your heart, your nervous system, your voice, your business, your relationships, your future. You are not becoming someone new. You are remembering who you have always been. The beings around the fire gather once more. A circle of wisdom, a circle of support, a circle of belonging. And together they offer one final message. You do not need to hide to belong. You do not need to shrink to be loved. You do not need to silence yourself to stay safe. You may be seen. You may be known. You may be fully yourself and still belong. Allow these words to settle deeply within you, beyond logic, beyond effort, into the deepest layers of your being. From this moment forward, whenever you place your hand gently over your heart, as you do now, and whisper the word visible, your body remembers. Visible and safe. Visible and supported. Visible and loved. Visible and fully yourself. Each time you use this anchor, the new pathways strengthen, the new truth deepens, the new identity roots itself more fully into your life. You begin to walk gently back towards the doorway of your records. With one last look back in gratitude, you step through and softly close the door behind you. The space is sealed. The light within you remains. And now it is time to return, bringing back all that serves your highest good. 1. Bringing back the wisdom and remembrance. 2. Feeling energy returning to your body. 3. Breathing more deeply now. 4. Wriggling fingers and toes, feeling grounded and present. 5. Eyes open, fully awake, fully here, fully yourself. And perhaps for the first time in a long time, knowing that your light was never the danger, it was always the gift. That was beautiful. That was a beautiful session for me to facilitate. I felt tingles all through that. I'm getting them again. Such a beautiful session. I'm really looking forward to listening to this myself. I hope that you got so much out of it. I want to help you ground back into the space, so make sure you stretch up and out and then gently hug yourself. Breathing into that hug. And if you ever need to return to that anchor, just pop your hand back on your chest. And breathing in visibility, knowing that it's safe. Beautiful. Okay. As I said earlier, I would love so much to hear what you were working through today in this session. And I look forward to sharing with you my own shifts from doing this session myself in the future as well. So keep an eye out for that. I will see you in our next session. And I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are, whenever it is. Thank you for joining. Speak to you soon. Okay, bye.